Hey All-Stars, happy Tuesday. It was so amazing to see so many of you last night at our Twin Cities meeting. And we've just had a lot of crazy things that are awesome happening in our team over the last couple months. And I wanted to go live because there's something that I've been thinking about. We've been talking about it a little bit in the Entertaining group, in the Empire Builders group. And it's something that keeps coming up for me. I've worked with a number of coaches over the years, a number of business coaches, and all of them have basically shared the exact same concept that is super simple and so important, and most of us don't do it. And that is coming up with a daily practice. Hi, Amanda. Congratulations on getting married. Coming up with a daily practice that if you did it and you were consistent with it, would guarantee success. There would be no choice but for you to have success. If you did these things on the regular, your business would have no choice but to explode, unless you were doing it totally wrong. And then in which case, we could talk about that. But each of my coaches has, when I've set big goals in my business, they've all come back to me with the same thing. So it's, what are the things that you're doing on the daily to get there? And when you think of it, that concept is super simple with anything that we do in our lives. Maybe we have some fitness goals, right? And your end goal might be to fit into a certain size of pants or something. And that might be the end goal. But then what are you going to do on a daily basis that's going to get you there? Diet and exercise, whatever that might look like. Our business is really the same thing. And unfortunately, a lot of times we drastically overcomplicate things. I have been the master of this. I tend to overthink. I tend to really like to learn. I tend to get caught up in minutia sometimes. And that is, can be really paralyzing for us and really get us stuck. And there's a lot of comfort in watching another video, right? There's a lot of comfort in getting stuck in what we call the library and wanting to take another course or wanting to go to another training. And training is awesome. And I'm a huge fan of staying a student. But what I don't advocate is getting stuck there and getting so tied up and having the perfect process that we never actually take action. Yes, Sam McDonald, if what you do works, if you do what works consistently, it works. Absolutely. And so if you drill it down in our business, there's a concept, I'm not going to get too nerdy because again, process stuff, but there's lead goals and there's lag goals, right? And this is a concept that has been applied for different business things. I think maybe it was a Stephen Covey thing. But your lag goals are, again, your BHAGs. Those are the big things that you ultimately want to accomplish. And so that could be things like I want to make national director someday, or I want to, buy a house with my business, or even I want to have 12 parties in a month. And that's awesome. And it's important to have those big goals that you put out there. I want to do $5,000 in sales this month. But then your lead goals are the things that you do on the regular that are going to get you to your lag goals, right? And so with this business, I really want you to focus on, there's 3 things that I'm going to dare you. I'm going to dare you to come up with these 3 numbers, to share them below, and to actually knock this out in the next 5 days and see what happens. Because I'm telling you, if you do this consistently, you're going to have it, unless again, you're doing it totally wrong, in which case we can have some conversations about it, you're going to have success. It's just going to be inevitable. So the 3 things I want you to look at, I want you to come up with 3 numbers. Number 1, how many new people are you going to talk to this week? Now, you don't even have to talk with them about the business, all right? It could be just casual conversation. Maybe you're in line at Target and the cashier is checking you out. And instead of just not checking you out, like, hey, checking you out, but checking you out. And instead of just going about your business, maybe you ask them, hey, what are you up to this weekend? Or what are you excited about right now? Or how's your day going? You're going to engage in casual conversation with strangers. Maybe you're out at a restaurant and you just do a little bit of chit chat with your server. And so I want you to set a goal of how many casual conversations you're going to have with strangers with no pressure of pure romance coming into the conversation at all. Now, what's interesting is it might come into the conversation. And so be prepared for that, because a lot of times when we're having casual conversations with people, things come up. But I want you just to get used to opening up conversations with people that maybe you haven't met before, because it's all about growing our funnel, right? It could be people on social media. Maybe you are in some Facebook groups for interest groups for things that you're just interested in, and maybe you engage with some strangers and just connect with them. So that's the first number. How many new people are you going to engage in casual conversations with, all right? The second number is how many people are you going to offer the opportunity to take a look at the product, to take a look at having a party, or to take a look at the business opportunity, because that ultimately is what it comes down to. Everything else that we do, again, when people get stuck in all this other stuff, they're like, oh, I got to figure out my marketing strategy, and I've got to, work on my hostess coaching, routine and all this stuff, it just overcomplicates things so much. And those things are important, but ultimately it comes down to how many people are you talking to. So the first number, how many new people are you going to connect with? Just casual conversations this week. The second one is how many people are you going to offer the opportunity to take a look at either having a party, take a look at the product, and or take a look at the business. And then the third number I want you to think about is how many people are you going to follow up with? So people that maybe have expressed interest in having a party before, maybe you're doing follow up with them, or expressed interest in the business or the product. Maybe you have clients that you are wanting to follow up with to see if they need refills on something. Maybe you have parties booked and you need to follow up with your hostesses to do hostess coaching. So those are 3 numbers, and you can pick your number. You pick your level of activity. So for those of you that have some really giant goals, you might have some pretty intense numbers for the next 5 days of what you want to do. Some of you, maybe you just are kind of dipping your toes in the water. And if I asked you how many of those 3 areas you've done in the last week, if it's 0 on all of those, we got to get you into action, because that is how this thing works. All right. So for example, maybe you are like, okay, in the next 5 days, and I do this daily, by the way. This is my daily method of operation. Super simple, right? But these are numbers that I shoot for every single day. I want you to go ahead and set a number for the week, or you could do it daily if you want to. So maybe you're going to say, I'm just getting my feet wet. I'm going to commit to having just a little casual conversation with 10 people who I've never spoken with before about anything. All right. Doesn't have to be about the business. I'm going to commit to offering either the opportunity to take a look at product, take a look at having a party, or take a look at becoming a consultant to 5 people. And I'm going to do follow-ups with 2 because I don't have a lot of clients yet. So maybe your number is 10, 5, 2. All right. Maybe you're a baller. We got a few of you that are ballers in here. And maybe you're like, no, I have actually, parties booked this weekend. So I'm going to meet dozens of people who I've never spoken with before. So my conversation with strangers is going to be, I'm going to do 20. I'm going to offer to 30 people, and I'm going to do follow-ups with 50. All right. So maybe it looks like that. But I just want you to go ahead and pick a number for each of those. How many new people are you going to strike up casual conversations with? How many people are you going to offer for the first time the opportunity to either take a look at product, take a look at having a party, take a look at the business, and how many follow-ups are you going to do? And if you did those 3 things consistently, it's okay to have a low production week. We talk about that. It's okay if you have weeks where maybe you're doing a little bit less than others, but the reality is there's a lot of you guys that I would talk to, and you can't tell me how many people you're actually talking to on a weekly basis. And that's what this business is all about. And all the other stuff is extra. All the extra marketing stuff that we do is awesome, and that's important to support driving those conversations, but that's not going to get you where you want to go. And so that is my challenge for you. I want you to pick those 3 numbers for the next 5 days. Go ahead and share them below. There's no award for having a ridiculous number, for any of those. Choose something you actually are going to, that is attainable for you, because you have complete control over this. But I dare you to do that, and I dare you to see what happens over the next 5 days. If you're not sure what to say, I think a lot of times people don't do this kind of stuff because they have fear. They have fear about rejection. They have fear about looking stupid. They have fear about not knowing what to say. We have scripts that are in the All-Star team, and I'll actually flag a script for you so you can go ahead and take a look at that. But don't let fear get in your way of this, right? I think a lot of times, again, it's just comfortable to just, stay in learning mode and to stay in the library and not do a whole lot and feel like you're doing things, but you're not actually doing the things that are going to move your business forward. So that is my challenge for you. Sam's got hers. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So pick your 3 numbers. All right. Pick those 3, whatever that looks like for you, and share it with the group. I dare you. And then let's circle back on Sunday and see how you did. And I bet that you're going to see some massive action. And if you do that on a regular basis and you set that number, whatever it is, every single week or every single day that you're working, and knock it out, regardless of how large or how small it is, you're going to move your business forward. You won't have any choice but to have success, because when you have a daily routine or daily process that you do on a regular basis that guarantees your success, then that's where you're going to be. So, all right, I get a little fired up. Love you guys. Have a good one. If you have any questions about that, I hope I described that adequately. If you have any questions, reach out. But otherwise, let's go. All right, let's go. Let's actually do those things that are going to have an impact. This business is so simple. We overcomplicate it. And when you get overwhelmed, it's usually because you're doing a lot of things. You're getting caught up in the minutia. You're overthinking. You're overcomplicating. You're not actually just taking actions that are gonna have the impact that you are gonna get you to those lag goals that you want. All right. So let's just get into action. You're gonna look silly while you're doing it. It's hard to look good and get better at the same time. You're going to have rejection. That just is part of it. But let's just go. All right. Bye.